These songs of freedom, it's all I ever had. Redemption song, redemption song.
It's Becky Saunders at Cubberley Community Center in Palo Alto, June 1st. The early afternoon, we are awaiting the arrival of presidential candidate Bernie Sanders here at the amazing Cubberley football field. It's been a while since there's been this much action here. Let's take a look and see what's going on.
So you think you can
Steele, tell us why you're here today.
There's something about Bernie that struck me. He doesn't filter the truth. He doesn't prepare canned statements. Well, maybe a few. They all do, but I think he speaks from his heart, and his message to me seems honest. I believe that he really wants to change and turn the system upside down.
As a Canadian, I really value living in a place, and I'm very willing to pay the taxes it takes to take care of each other, to provide universal health care, to have tuition people can afford. We do have to pay a little. And I feel really privileged to have happened to be in Palo Alto at this moment so I could come and see him.
We're here because Bernie Sanders is really a revolution in the making, and he's right 10 minutes away from where we were. My brother, although, has come all the way from Brazil.
I'm here and as an observer to see how the political system here works, specifically the left of center. Well, also to compare the sort of left politics here in the US with the one we were familiar with and grew up with in India, and the one I'm familiar with in Brazil, having lived there for the last 30 years.
The one thing I do want to say is the amount of energy that this movement has sort of brought up is really fascinating to see. I never thought I'd be at a rally.
I was looking through Bernie's policies and positions on issues, and I just go through and check, agree with everything he's standing for and making issue of, and trying to get more support for in this country.
Searching for the American dream, and how all of us deserve to have that American dream. It's grassroots activism, which includes the people knocking on doors, talking to their neighbors, their friends, their families. So I know it's difficult to step out of your comfort zone, and I know some of us have anxiety. I've never talked in front of this many people in my entire life. But you know what else isn't easy? Going from 3% in the national polls to winning almost half of the states that have voted this at this point. The mainstream media dismissing you at every single turn, and still we are here to fight for every last vote. So when you feel like you can't do this, think again, because Bernie has been fighting for us his entire political career. Who is feeling the burn?
It is not a question of whether or not Bernie represents the future that we want. It's a question of how long until we stand up and say we want that future now. And that is only going to happen if this weekend we knock on enough doors, because then we will affect this monumental change that will change the entire country of this future and the world. Can we commit to that?
The fight to get big money out of politics is not over. The fight for human rights is not over. The fight for civil rights and social justice is not over. The fight to save the planet is not over. The fight for peace is not over. The fight to offer everyone a decent education, good job, reliable health care, and a safe place to live is not over.
I'd like to ask you to join me and say thank you to all of our veterans who came out today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. We've just observed Memorial Day, a day when we're reminded about the cost of war. We've honored those who've paid the ultimate price and given everything. No one understands peace more than those who've experienced and seen war firsthand. During my first deployment to Iraq, I worked in a medical unit where every single day I was confronted with that high cost of war. I know how critical it is that we have a commander-in-chief who has a military mindset and the sound judgment to make those difficult decisions, to know when it is necessary to use military power to defeat those who threaten us, groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And just as importantly, making that decision when not to use that military power. I'm confident that Bernie Sanders has that good judgment.
Thank you, Palo Alto. So do I have the right hat on? Now that we've gotten through the important issues, we do not want, we do not need campaign contributions from Wall Street, the drug companies, or billionaires. I view our job is to take on Wall Street, not take their money. 8 million individual campaign contributions. Anyone know the average? That's right, $27. This campaign is listening to the working people of this country. What they are telling me is the $7.25 federal minimum wage is a starvation wage. We've got to raise it to $15 an hour. 50 years ago, you had a high school degree. You're doing okay. You can go out, you can get yourself a decent job, you can make it into the middle class. By and large, those days are gone. Today, with an exploding technology, a changing economy, people need more education. And that is why when we talk about free public education today, it is not good enough to talk about first grade through 12th grade. We need to make public colleges and universities tuition free. Does anybody here think that that is a radical idea? I will tell you exactly how we pay for it. Tax on Wall Street speculation. 8 years ago, the middle class of this country bailed out Wall Street. It is Wall Street's time to help the working families. We're not going to get involved in wars that we should not be involved in. We're not going to be overthrowing governments every year, but we will be investing in inner cities and in rural communities who need those investments. As human beings, we are part of nature. We must live with nature. And if we continue to destroy nature, we are ultimately destroying the human species. Why do we continue to have a corrupt campaign finance system? Why are we the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical leave? Why are we not doing more to transform our energy system and take on the fossil fuel industry? Why are we paying the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs? Why are women still earning 79 cents on the dollar compared to men? Why are young people leaving school $50,000, $70,000 in debt? And those are the questions that the American people are asking. And they are increasingly understanding that the answer to those questions is to create a government which listens and responds to the needs of working families and the middle class. June 7th, there is going to be an enormously important Democratic primary here in California. We will win. If the turnout is very high, we will win by large numbers. So I am asking all of you to help us make June 7th the largest turnout of any Democratic primary in California history. And when we do that, California will help lead this country into the political revolution. Thank you all very much.